In honor of Chav Beishvat, the outside of the Rebbetzin, I want to relate several stories. My sister, Rebbetzin Leah Khan, the wife of the Rebbe Chazer, the Yael Khan, they should both be well for long life. Leah would talk very often with the Rebbetzin on the phone. One day it was towards evening. Leah is talking to the Rebbetzin on the phone, and she tells the Rebbetzin that our father, who lived with her before he went to Israel, didn't come home yet, and she's worried. He was elderly, he was frail, and Leah's worried. The Rebbetzin didn't ask any questions. The Rebbetzin cut the conversation short. And about a half hour, an hour later, the Rebbetzin calls Leah. And she says, Mein Mann hat gesagt, als hat ihm gesehen in Schul zu Meiliv. My husband said that he saw him in Shul to Meiliv, at Meiliv. That's the end of the story. What happened here? When Leah told the Rebbetzin that she's worried, the Rebbetzin didn't ask any questions. Because by asking questions, you're prolonging or expanding the agony. You have asked questions, when does he come every day? And what time is it now already? And how much is he late? And what do you think he is late for? The Rebbetzin did not want to ask any questions because that would make the agony bigger. So the Rebbetzin made sure to get off the phone as soon as possible. When the Rebbetzin got off the phone, she called the Rebbe. And she told the Rebbe, Leah is worried. Where is her father? And the Rebbe answered her, nothing to worry about. The Rebbe saw him in Shul to Meiliv. And then the Rebbetzin calls back Leah to say, this is what my husband said. This is our Rebbetzin. From time to time, we would visit the Rebbetzin. I would call her. I would ask her that we want to come with the family. And she would always give me a time when to come. Whenever we came, it was a royal table that the Rebbetzin prepared. And I was told by the people in the house, but the sign of an all-out table preparation is when the Rebbetzin tells the people they should put out the tea set, the golden tea set. The golden tea set had a special story. It was a tea set that wasn't a regular dinner set of a small spoon, a small fork, and a small knife, especially for a tea set. And it was either gold, as we think it was, or gold-plated. And it looked royal, it looked regal. And on each piece of the tea set was inscribed SS, 2 letters, SS. I once asked the Rebbetzin, what does SS stand for? And she answered, Mein Schwester Schendel Schneerson, my sister Schendel Schneerson. And she choked up. And I knew no more questions. And the explanation to that, as we can figure, is that the Rebbetzin Schendel Schneerson and her husband, the Menachem Mendel Hakein Schneerson, who was a big miyuchas. The Menachem Mendel Hakein Schneerson was a grandson of the Rebbe Malash. That his mother, the Rebbetzin Chaya Mushke Hodenstein, was a daughter of the Rebbe Malash. And they lived in the same apartment building with the Rebbe and the Rebbetzin in Paris in 1935, 36, 37, 38, and so on, and 38. And in the end of 38, or the beginning of 39, the Menachem Mendel Hakein Hodenstein left Paris with his wife. They went back to Poland because his father, the Moshe Hakein Hodenstein, had passed away, and his mother wasn't well. And he went back into Poland. Poland was already burning. The Nazis were taking over, and everybody was afraid to be in Poland. Everybody was looking to get out of Poland. The Mendel Hodenstein went back to Poland in those difficult days to take care of his mother. Unfortunately, he and his wife and his mother were taken to concentration camps and remained there They had an adopted son, all remained at the concentration camp. The Rebbe, on the second day of Rosh Hashanah, would say Kaddish for the Rebbetzin Shendel Schneerson. And it seems that before they left, when they left Paris on the way to Poland, Rebbetzin Shendel gave over this tea set, this wonderful tea set, to the Rebbetzin. And this is why the Rebbetzin cherished this tea set so much. The Rebbetzin would make sure to speak to every child and ask every child some questions. Every child. Now, she knew that the children know who she is and where they are. And therefore she was very gentle. She lowered her voice. She smiled a lot. And all she waited for the child to start to answer, and she nodded her head, and she smiled, and she made the child feel that the Rebbetzin is asking this particular child how they are, each and every one, to give everyone a feeling of love and of importance. Before I would go to Eretz Yisrael, I would call the Rebbetzin. I would tell her I'm going this and this day and so on. She would give me a bracha. Once she said that she has a mission for me in Eretz Yisrael. She has an old aunt. Her name is Tzila Schneerson. She was the wife of the Rebbetzin Schneerson. The Rebbetzin Schneerson was the uncle of the Rebbetzin and the Rebbe. And the Rebbetzin Schneerson was gone. They didn't have any children. She was an elderly woman. She lived till close to 100 years old. And the Rebbetzin asked me to go and visit her and deliver a message. The message is, we are thinking about her, we are worried about her, we are thinking about her, and that she's not alone. When I delivered that message, you saw the strength and the inspiration that she derived from the Rebetzin's words. This is our Rebbetzin. She sits in Brooklyn, and she worries about an old aunt that's alone, that lives in Tel Aviv, under the Chover Rashi, that doesn't have a husband, that doesn't have any children. But she wants to deliver a message to the Rebbetzin that she's not alone. We are thinking about her, we, the royal we, the Rebbe and the Rebbetzin. We are thinking about her. The Rebbe and the Rebbetzin are thinking about her, are worried about her, and she is not alone.